Recording in progress. At this time, I would like to ask our IT professionals to start the audio tape recordings of the regular meeting of the Board of the Housing Authority of the City of Atlanta, Georgia Board of Commissioners, and to admit any members of the public who have chosen to listen to the meeting online. Thank you. My name is Sharice Reyes, and I serve as General Counsel of the Housing Authority of the City of Atlanta, Georgia, also known as Atlanta Housing, and Assistant Secretary for the Atlanta Housing Board of Commissioners. Before the regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners is called to order, please consider the following announcements. We welcome the members of the public who have joined us in person in the Pecan Room at the Atlanta Housing Headquarters located at 230 John Wesley Dobbs Northeast, Atlanta, Georgia, for this regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners of Atlanta Housing. We also welcome the members of the public who have joined this meeting via audio conference. There is also an option to view the meeting live streamed. Members of the public can find the link in the notices section on the Atlanta Housing website. Please be advised that any members of the public who wish to address the board during the time for public comment period must have signed up on the public speaker sign-up sheet at the front door of the meeting prior to the time the meeting is called to order, or have sent in a comment by the time set in the notice of the meeting. Each speaker will be allotted 3 minutes to provide comments. Comments should be relevant to matters within the authority of the Board of Commissioners or otherwise related to the business of Atlanta Housing. The chair may enforce these procedures to ensure orderly and efficient conduct of the meeting. A link to the meeting agenda, board resolutions, and presentation materials are available for review by the public by accessing the Atlanta Housing Board Docs link on the Atlanta Housing website at www.atlantahousing.org/notices.
All right. Just one point of order. So the script you sent me in the email is still the script? Good. All right. Going to be doing something new today. Going to try to get off the paper onto the digital. So bear with me a little bit as I navigate this today. My name is Larry Stewart. I serve as the chair of the Board of Commissioners, and I'm now calling this regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners of the Housing Authority of the City of Atlanta, Georgia to order. Today is Wednesday, April 22nd, 2026, and the time is 2:04 p.m. Will the General Counsel take the roll to determine a quorum for this meeting?
Larry Stewart.
I'm here.
Sarah Kirsch.
Here.
Joel Alvarado.
Here.
Matt Bronfman. Rosalind Elliott.
Here.
Tony Martin. Bentina Terry.
Here.
Mr. Chair, there is a quorum present.
Oh, well, all right. The agenda has been presented to the board for review and comment. Are there any proposed changes to the agenda? Hearing none, may I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
May I have a second? So moved by Commissioner Kirsch and seconded by Commissioner Elliott. Is there any discussion? Hearing no further discussion, I'll call for the vote. All in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. I think I heard all ayes. No opposition, no abstentions. The motion is carried.
The minutes of the regular Board of Commissioners meeting held on March 25th, 2026 are before the board for review and comment. Are there any proposed corrections to the minutes of the regular Board of Commissioners meeting?
May I have a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting held on March 25th, 2026?
Second.
Oh, I heard a bunch. All right. I think I heard Commissioner Elliott on the move. I don't know who I heard second. I will just give it to Commissioner Terry. So moved by Commissioner Elliott and seconded by Commissioner Terry. Is there any discussion related to the motion to approve the minutes of the March 25th, 2026 meeting? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
I think I heard all ayes, no nays, no abstentions. The motion is carried. Have any members of the public signed up to speak or provided comments in advance of the meeting?
Mr. Chair, no members of the public have provided comments in advance, but we do have 5 members of the public who have signed up to speak.
I was going to say, yes. So I'm going to do my part. Yeah, members of the public who wish to speak and who have signed up on our sign-up sheet as they entered the meeting. Each speaker who has signed up will be called to the podium and will have 3 minutes to address the board on matters involving business of Atlanta housing. After those members of the public who are here to speak finish, we will read any questions received in advance. I think we heard that there were none. And so I will now turn it back to you.
Mr. Chair, our first member of the public who has signed up to speak is Janelle D. Perry with Faithful Homes LLC.
Good afternoon, and thank you for the opportunity to come before you today. It's been a while since I have spoken in front of you, and typically when I come to Atlanta and I'm speaking before you, I'm speaking as a potential vendor who wants to collab with Atlanta Housing on projects for housing for other members of the community. Today, I come before you striving the importance of this work. On February 23rd, 2026, my family and I experienced a water loss. On account of that, we have been temporarily displaced since February 23rd. We have been in multiple hotels. We have faced a lot of barriers, systemic barriers, intentional barriers that we should not be experiencing. One, because we are human. And in a land as great as America, housing should not be an issue. Furthermore, when my mom is paying over $700 for homeowner insurance and car insurance combined, we should not be facing these issues. I'm coming with a unique perspective, stating that if we are experiencing this as people with privilege, with homeowners insurance and stellar homeowner insurance at that, internal barriers from our insurance company, external barriers from hotels, what are people who are impoverished experiencing right now? I'm coming as a passionate homeowner, as a passionate business owner, but also as a human who knows that what my family is experiencing right now should not be happening. So I implore the city of Atlanta, I implore my own hometown, Charlotte and Mecklenburg County, as well as other states within the United States, to be very intentional with the direction that we are going in when it comes to housing, when it comes to how we see people, when it comes to how we see all people. It should not matter whether you have homeowners insurance or not. Housing should be a right that all people in the United States have. So I look forward to collaborating with Atlanta Housing again. I look forward to the opportunities for housing for other people, but I also look forward to conversations to help people see that this is a problem no matter what side you're on. This is a problem where sometimes people don't see the humanity in all people, and it does not matter what you have or what you don't have. We need to be intentional with seeing the humanity in people, as well as acknowledging the disparities that do exist, but being intentional also with removing those disparities and barriers. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak. Everyone have an absolutely amazing.
Thank you for your comments. And we'll probably find some time to chat with you afterwards. Cool. Thank you. Who's next?
Mr. Chair, the next speaker is Jasmine Banks.
Greetings. I'm sorry, I'm going to be reading from my phone, so I won't be able to look at you. But greetings to the board members, president, fellow constituents, and community members. My name is Jasmine Banks, and I have been a Housing Choice Voucher participant for several years. First, I would like to say that I am extremely grateful for the chance to participate in the voucher program. Though it hasn't been the best experience, I appreciate the financial help. I currently work as a special education paraprofessional for Atlanta Public Schools and have been for the past 10 years alongside some advocacy work. My voucher has supported me and my family as the pay for paraprofessional isn't much, with $35,000 being my highest annual salary. I stand before you today just to leave a thought. I have been working with NACA because that was one of your homeowner participants, or I should say, one of your homeowner, lenders, and they talk about how they work with some housing authorities to turn rental vouchers into purchase vouchers. And I spoke with the president, so thank you for your response. And I just wanted to leave the thought that maybe, though it might not work for everybody, it can be very beneficial for some. So I know we have a down payment program that you all offer, and maybe if possibly in the future we can work with with NACA with their hot PHA program to convert that down payment program into a purchase voucher program to where that you all can help with purchasing a home. We know purchasing homes help people build wealth. I have 3 children, and I'm actually going to be a teacher next year, so my salary will go up, and it won't be that. Thank you. So it won't be that low salary anymore. I'll be able to actually afford a home and be able to keep up with the payments and afford that house. So just a thought to maybe work on converting and working with NACA as they have a program where they convert rental vouchers into purchase vouchers. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Who's next?
Mr. Chair, our next speaker is Devon Robinson with All in One Georgia.
Afternoon, board, and everyone is in this. I'll paint a picture for you. Brady baby, went to Bowen Home, Bunch Middle School, Frederick Douglass High, went on to Morgan State University, came back home. I was not supposed to return back to the project because that's not the goal. Let me rewind you. I was one of the 10 kids that was in the daycare that day that the daycare bombed in Bowen. I'm one of the 4 that survived the bomb and is still alive. We had Bowen Home reunion in 2020. You guys have get the signatures of former Bowen residents to apply for the choice grant. Housing heard that I get the signature. Got the signatures. Oh, we got the 40. We don't need the Warren Robinson number. That's a no. I don't agree with that. I don't like that. My grandparents were buttermilk bottom. They were lied to, so they had a chance to go back. We all know they built Georgia Power in the Civic Center. They didn't have a chance, right? So I see the same game as being now as a recycle of lies. What I don't like is that the fact that if we're going to say that this is not Mr. Housing rules, I guess. So if we're going to say that former Bowen residents are those who were living there during the time of demolition, then the signatures of those captured get the $40 million shit. Just do away with the whole damn development right now, if that's what we're going to say, HUD. Because it doesn't make line and plan like that. So what I'm saying is that if those signatures didn't count, if there wasn't former Bowen, then we can't say at the time of demolition. If my family was brought from buttermilk bottom to Bowen, not a legacy resident. I'm not advocating saying I want to go back. But what I'm saying is I have a mother who's 70. I have an aunt who's 75. You can't tell them they're not former Bowen when their parents lied to and brought from buttermilk bottom in a graveyard landfill that we all know Bowen Home was built on. Because a lot of us got asthma due to the environment. We can't be playing these games in Atlanta to real, true Atlanta residents. I'm tired of that. And Miss Elliott, that happened over there in the community that you came from. We can't stand for that. You understand my sentiments. And I don't agree with that. And so I'm here today to ask this board to stand with your CEO and let's go in front of her, because we ain't gonna stand for that. You ain't gonna tell me I'm not former Bowen, but you use me to get the signatures, and Bowen wouldn't be getting built right now if it wasn't for our signatures for you guys to present to the choice neighborhood to get the grant. We can't play that game. And secondly, there's a misconception. I hear so many people say that it's hard to find black GCs, good black GCs. Well, I beg to differ. I have a company here today, Global Development, and I just want you guys to imagine this, and this not being racist at all, but when you have a black developer, if he don't choose a black GC, What make you think the white GC company he chooses is gonna choose another black GC company if the white developer didn't get him the opportunity? We can't be trying to make the black GC settle for subcontractor work when they qualify for prime work. We can't play that game. And if the black developer don't give the black folks the work, do you think the white folks gonna give them the work? No, because the onus is on the black developer. But we gotta hold them accountable, board. We choosing these people, we let them come. I mean, they coming up with their own funding, but we have a fiduciary duty in Atlanta, Georgia, by way of Maynard Jackson. And we can't do that. Like, we can't do that. We gotta stand in there and say, listen, we're not saying a black person's supposed to get this because they're black, but if we're qualified, give them an opportunity. Stop making us subs all the time. Give us an opportunity to be a prime when we bond ourselves at $70 million. We can do the work. But for us to not even have a seat at the table, and then when they're there choosing the subs, not even giving you a fair interview or we'll talk with you. That's all. We all know that's baloney. I've sat quiet long enough, and I'm just here, my friend. It's nothing against you because, like you said, you answer that phone and you try your very best. But I still think we can take it a step above.
Mr. Chair, just a point of
Thank you.
order. We're over the 3 minutes allotted.
Oh, thank you, Ms. Reyes. I'm done.
Thank you. And Mr. Chair, your next speaker is Austin Martin.
Good afternoon, the board. Apparently, I'm not able to speak so loud because of my voice and that allergy. So I'll pass my minute for for Dr. Robinson, if that's fair. If that
I think what I heard him say was that his voice was not going to allow him. He's not trying to speak up. Is that correct?
exactly,
That
that's
he wanted
correct.
to yield his time back to Mr. Robinson or somebody. Was it Mr. Robinson or somebody
Dr.
else?
Robinson, you can go ahead and speak on.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Robinson, do you have more? Do you want to add?
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
At this time, I don't wish to be redundant. I think I've said all I had to say. I just wish the board, I just wish this board will consider what I said and let's continue these conversations because I think that we can do a little bit more when it comes to HUD. I think Ms. Lee have stood in the gap and tried all she can, but I think with the help of the board, I think we can do a little bit more and with this whole born home thing. Thank you.
And Mr. Chair, our final speaker is Mo, I can't read the last name, Hero.
It's Reyes, so we're gonna just waive that, so we're just done. He's not gonna speak.
All right. Are there any other members of the public?
No, and we did not receive any comments in advance of the meeting.
Before we move on, any comments from commissioners in response to any of that, or before I close out public comment? So I'm almost, as we've always done, I think first, thank you to everyone who came and talked. We've always preached that we wanted people to communicate and give public comment to us, make sure that we're hearing directly from the people. So for all those who have signed up and gave time today, we appreciate you. I know that we always take copious notes around the things that are presented, and so I expect that our team and Terry will follow up with the people who have made the comments and the issues that were raised. So I heard some things around not only how we are navigating our ability to do contracting, to make sure that we're advocating for those who are living or having challenges with homeownership, with vouchers, et cetera. So I'm certain that we will get back to you guys. If you have not, please, before you leave, make sure we have contact information, phone number, email, so that we can communicate directly, and we'll make sure that we get a response back and we'll work with you. All right. With that said, see, this is where the digital makes me have to do a little extra. And then it went, then it went black. But this ends the public comment portion of the meeting. Hopefully my little thing will come. There we go. Well, it didn't come back. All right, I'm going to go back to the paper. This ends that portion of the meeting, and now we will skip to the presentation of resolutions. Oh, yeah, you should probably, I guess you start that part. Or no, hold on. No, hold on. I'm skipping. Let me stop. There we go. Please be advised that at the Board of Commissioners September 22nd meeting, 2021 meeting, the board approved a consent agenda protocol. There are 3 resolutions appearing below that received unanimous votes of approval at the Board of Commissioners Real Estate Committee meeting held on March. We didn't do it on March. That was not March 18th. What date was that? So I get it right. April 15th. 2026. The collective group of resolutions on the consent agenda will be approved by a single motion to adopt. All resolutions and the affirmative vote of the Board of Commissioners. If discussion on any resolution or resolutions is desired by a commissioner, the commissioner must make that desire known to the chair immediately following the reading of the consent agenda items. And the resolution or resolutions will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately or at the discretion of the chair. A discussion may occur prior to the vote on the consent agenda resolutions. Moreover, if a commissioner simply wants his or her vote to be specifically recorded on any particular item, separate votes may be taken on the resolutions. Will the general counsel identify the 3 resolutions on the consent agenda for the record?
Before you are copies of the following consent agenda resolutions. Resolution 2616, the Housing Authority of the City of Atlanta, Georgia seeks authorization to take all actions necessary to secure approval from the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development to dispose of up to 8 acres of vacant land and enter into a long-term ground lease with Live Thrive Incorporated. Resolution number 2617, the Housing Authority of the City of Atlanta, Georgia seeks authorization to enter into a Haven Home Flex Assistance Payments Agreement commitment for Waterworks Apartments. And resolution number 2618, the Housing Authority of the City of Atlanta, Georgia seeks authorization to extend the Home Flex Assistance Payments Agreement for Veranda at Auburn Point 2 and Veranda at Auburn Point 3.
Yes.
Chair Stewart. So for resolution 26.16, I would like to see the rendering we talked about at the committee meeting prior to the vote.
Okay. So I thought they emailed. You wanted to just go up on the screen.
I do not recall receiving email. That doesn't mean I didn't. It just means I don't recall receiving one. Was it emailed to me?
It was. It was. It's okay. If you want to show that rendering, if we show the rendering, does that allow us to submit? Okay. No, it's fine. Yeah, no problem. Do you want to see it? And look at it now. We got a little time. Make sure
Chairman Stewart, I believe we also have it loaded. We did,
Yeah, maybe we should
staff
do
did email it, but we also have it loaded to share.
that. So before we do make sure we're in order. And my assumption here is once you see it, you'll be comfortable with continuing the consent agenda. All right, cool. Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Mr. Chair, the pictures are also in the book following the presentation, the supplemental.
More of this. It was kind of what does this type of facility look like?
Any discussion or review of these photos that you would like to? All right, so do we need to do anything? Are we comfortable? I mean, I'm asking you, Sharice, is there anything we need to do?
Procedurally, I think we should take the motion and then have discussion of the motion.
Okay. All right, let's do that. Is there a motion to adopt consent agenda resolution 26, 16, 17, and 18?
Motion.
All right, may I have a second?
Second.
All right, so moved by Commissioner Martin and seconded by Commissioner Curse. It has been moved and seconded to adopt the consent agenda resolutions 26, 16, 17, and 18. Is there any discussion related to the consent agenda? So maybe, Maya, if you can just describe what these photos are, I think that's what has been requested at this point.
Okay. So I'm Maya Hodari, and I have with me today Peggy, who's actually the executive director for Live Thrive. So in case there are pointed questions for her too, but this is a few shots of the existing charm in DeKalb. So this is just to give some context on what the pavilions in DeKalb look like. The aesthetic for Bowen will be different, but we just understood that the question was for you all to get a feel for what a charm looks like. And then we have some additional shots of what some of the landscaping will be that's proposed for the Bowen charm. And so just some additional images. This shows the site plan. So again, there'll be the charm, which will have the pavilions around the interior, and it'll have a focal point inside the charm, which is the lower, well, it's in the middle of this screen, but it's the lower area of the site plan. It basically, you have landscaping around the charm site itself, and then there's a main entryway and an interior drive that circles around what's interior rainwater feature. And you have, again, the interior pavilions. It'll probably be hard to see from the street because of the landscaping around the property itself. And so if you all have any other questions.
So you stated that, if you go back to the previous slide, that the or sorry, one before that, that the aesthetic was slightly different. What will be different about the aesthetic for this one?
This, you don't see as much landscaping as what's envisioned for the Bowen charm. And so we wanted to have the images that really showcase the landscaping that's going to be quite different than what you see here. This was also at an early point when the charm opened and the landscaping hadn't really come in. And so these are shots before the landscaping really came in at the cab facility.
Thank you.
All right. If there are no other questions or comments, we will proceed to the vote, I should say. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Did not hear any nays or abstentions, so the motion is carried.
Thank you.
Before you is a copy of the following resolution, resolution number 2619. The staff and Board of Commissioners of the Housing Authority of the City of Atlanta, Georgia, seek to honor Dwayne C. Vaughn for exceptional service as retiring Chief Operating Officer.
All right. You know how to let us. Oh man. Motion and then we clap. Give me a second. Give me a second. Hold on. Hold on. Let me do the work. Is there a motion to approve resolution? Because we're going to do the presentation after this. Of resolution 2619.
Motion.
Second.
All right. May I have a all right, got it. So moved by Commissioner Martin. I'll let the commissioners, resident commissioners, and seconded by Commissioner Elliott. It has been moved and seconded to approve this motion. Is there any discussion? And now, claps and our CEO, Terry Lee.
Chairman Stewart, esteemed Board of Commissioners, whereas Dwayne C. Vaughn has been a valued member of the Housing Authority of the City of Atlanta, Georgia team for more than 16 years. Whereas Dwayne C. Vaughn initially contributed to the company's success from 1993 to 2002, demonstrating his expertise in legal, real estate, and housing matters. And whereas Dwayne C. Vaughn rejoined the company as General Counsel on March 29, 2021, and will retire from Atlanta Housing in the position of Chief Operating Officer on May 8, 2026. Whereas Dwayne C. Vaughn led Atlanta Housing's legal and operations function as a dedicated employee during his tenure. And whereas Dwayne C. Vaughn distinguished himself with his deep knowledge and abilities related to legal, real estate and operational matters, and the expertise and leadership developed during that career has been invaluable to Atlanta Housing during his tenure. Whereas Dwayne C. Vaughn has been a vital employee to this Board of Commissioners and to the management and employees of Atlanta Housing, serving in various leadership capacities for Atlanta Housing, and whereas the members of the Board of Commissioners want to thank Dwayne C. Vaughn for his many contributions to the Board of Commissioners and our esteemed Atlanta Housing. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Commissioners of the Housing Authority of the City of Atlanta, Georgia, that the Board of Commissioners hereby expresses its gratitude to Dwayne C. Vaughn for his sound business advice and valued counsel for all that he has contributed to Atlanta Housing. Further resolved that the Board of Commissioners wishes Dwayne C. Vaughn continued success in all of his endeavors and expresses our hope for his continued health, happiness, and prosperity. And further resolved that a copy of this resolution be presented to Dwayne C. Vaughn as a token of our appreciation for his service, and that the Board of Commissioners wishes him a healthy and fulfilling retirement. The tears you see, quite honestly, are not tears of sadness. They're tears of joy and appreciation. There are not many that come across your path like Dwayne C. Vaughn. There are just not many. There are not many who answer the call, when called, without complaining. And there are not many who give every bit that they have. And if he didn't give it, it's because he didn't have it. And on behalf of Atlanta Housing, Dwayne, we honor you, we thank you, we appreciate you, and we will miss you. But you have a track record of coming back. And with that, Mr. Chair, this concludes my report.
All right. Well, before we get to the vote, are there any other comments from our fellow commissioners this time?
I'd just like to add my word of thanks. You have a unique ability of anticipating everyone's questions, which makes us so much better at what we do. But more than anything, the kindness and grace with which you lead has been a true treat. And I know we're all grateful for how you've supported us and really helped shepherd Atlanta Housing through what has been a remarkable stretch of serving the city. So thank you.
I can say that I was delighted when I walked into my first meeting and saw you again, to have another opportunity to get to work with you. And I'd echo, of course, everything that Sarah said about the person that you are. You are truly a servant at heart, and that shines through in everything that you do. And it makes us all appreciate and love you. Thanks.
All right. So then I will just say, I've joked about you leaving a lot, and I do that because I need to keep myself from being saddened by the loss to the institution, but excited for what it presents for you. You know, no one has to do these jobs forever, and they shouldn't. And so I will just not only just speak to the work that you've done, because I think they've done it well for what you've done for them, but I will just articulate how important it was for the words and the kindness that you've provided to me personally. In some of my most difficult stretches, you gave me guidance, not only business guidance, but also personal guidance. Your spirit and the man of God that I know you are was invaluable to me and has been. And so I'm not going to delete your phone number. I look forward to seeing you and getting counsel from you outside of these walls. And I am excited for you and your wife as you move on and do great things in your retirement. And so I look forward to continuing our friendship because that's what I think will endure beyond this. So thank you and congratulations. Unless anybody else has a comment, we will now ask for the vote. So all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
hear any opposition or abstention, and I wouldn't have recognized it if it had come. And so the motion is carried, and this concludes the resolution portion of today's agenda. And I know now, we going to give him something? You want to talk? You want to say something? 'Cause I know you said a couple things, but you're more than welcome to receive your gift. And if you have any comments, please come on up.
Well, thank you all for those very, very kind comments. And I'd like to let you know that I feel honored to be in your presence. The commitment that you could be anywhere and your commitment, board members, to serving this city is commendable. I know when you were asked by the mayor or the mayor's surrogate, they probably didn't explain fully what it meant to be on the board of commissioners of Atlanta Housing. But you have answered that call, and I feel honored and privileged to be a co-worker with you. And we don't know how many thousands of families have benefited from all the votes that you have taken, from all the work that's being done. I also appreciate all of my colleagues behind me and elsewhere, and appreciate my wife that doesn't tell me she's coming. We are in a remarkable time, and we're under remarkable leadership, and the whole nation is watching what it looks like when a board and a city and a chief executive officer are all aligned to help people. And I just feel honored and it's just so grateful to have an opportunity to serve with you and to learn from you and to learn what real service looks like. So thank you for your kindness. I appreciate it.
And if you don't mind, are we able to maybe take a quick picture now? I know I have to leave and Sarah's going to take over for the end of this, but if we can do some pictures really quickly before that happens.
Heavy, isn't it? Heavy.
So at this time, I'm going to turn over the chair responsibilities over to our vice chair, Sarah Kirsch.
You know I'm going to use it.
Adoption.
Thank you, Chairman Stewart. Ms. Lee, do we have a report from the President and CEO today?
Yes, Madam Chair, we do have a report.
So I don't know if I can top the Dwayne's retirement, and I do want to again just thank Dwayne for his service, not just again to Atlanta Housing, but to Atlanta and to the landscape of this city. I spoke a little bit about his original tenure, but what many do not know is Dwayne served as the relocation specialist under the Hope Six program. Specifically, University Homes was one of his projects. So to come back to Atlanta Housing several years later and to see the full circle of what could happen when our agency is really agency and the city are aligned and committed to true transformation within a community and within its people is really remarkable. And so, Dwayne, again, we honor you. I'm excited. I'm always excited. I know it may sound a little nasally right now. I think it's the pollen, but I'm excited because the picture before you really represents the building that we're doing here at Atlanta Housing. And we will have an opportunity in 3 short weeks to share publicly what that building looks like at our State of Atlanta Housing. Last year, we had a standing room only opportunity at the gathering spot for State of Atlanta Housing, where we really released what the vision is for our agency. And our vision is really simple. We have a generational moment, an opportunity to use housing as the platform to lift our families to economic self-sufficiency. And so we will continue that conversation, not just with our words, but with our work that we'll share. And so as we move forward with today's presentation, I want to thank the board again for its commitment, but also thank the board for the actions that were taken here. We literally had a total of 3 resolutions, excluding Dwayne's resolution, but we had 3 resolutions that really focus on how we move forward with our goals. We are continuing to lift up the creation and preservation of affordable housing units here within our city. By passing today, your actions passed a total of 230 units. And of those 230 units, 200 of those units are affordable, but also there is a long-term investment of Atlanta Housing of about $63 million to make sure we preserve the opportunity for affordability. In addition, we are continuing to expand our partnerships. We had an opportunity to view what the facility may look like at the Bowen site, but being able to continue that relationship with Charm is so important, and more so just from an environmentally sustainability aspect, but really looking at the opportunity for education and workforce development that it will bring to so many within the community that we're looking to serve. We were also, and I know we've had public comment, and that we will definitely work with the persons who took the time to come to Atlanta Housing to share with us their thoughts. We would definitely make sure that we respond. But I do want to share with the board that just this month, we had an opportunity, myself and several of our team members had an opportunity to participate in the Moving to Work conference in Washington, D.C. There are 2 photos you see. The first photo is, of course, myself with the board of directors for the Moving to Work Collaborative and Secretary Turner, as well as the second photo is with members of our team and the executive director of the Public Housing Authorities Directors Association. I bring that forth because there are a lot of conversations right now that are swirling around. There are a lot of actions, a lot of decisions that are being made from the policy standpoint. And quite honestly, there are a lot of actions that are being taken. Atlanta Housing is at the forefront of those conversations. We are in those conversations, understanding what impact any rules, regulations, and or requirements, quite honestly, will have not just to our agency, but more importantly to the families that we serve. While we were at the Moving to Work Collaborative Conference, we had an opportunity to lead several discussions. Most importantly was a discussion around economic self-sufficiency and how we work with our families to build them from a capacity aspect, as well as how do we communicate our work and communicate it differently. And so one of the things that we're really proud of is the fact that our voice once again is being heard on a national level and our influence is being seen worldwide. And as we think about that influence and think about the work we do, we know that that cannot be done without without the assistance we do receive from the federal government. Atlanta Housing is about 95 to 97% federally funded. And when you think about our current net, but we can advance to the next slide. When you think about our current net position, we are slightly up than where we ended the end of the year of fiscal year 2025. But that really speaks to the level of development activity that we're still fast and heavy and moving forward. But what I'm really excited about is that our financial health is strong and we are a stable organization. Our year-to-date budget utilization is right at about 89%. And that's really important because it shows that we have, even in the midst of these times, we have been extremely responsible in moving forward with the resources, the precious resources that have been dedicated towards to us, but also to lift those resources up to make sure that we provide services to our family. We will be coming to the board within the next 45 days to discuss our FY27 budget proposal, and as well as the plans and initiatives that we have to close out our FY22 to FY27 strategic plan. As we think about Atlanta housing, one of the things that we always want to showcase from a transparency standpoint is our dashboard. And I invite the our commissioners as well as our public at large to scan the QR code, because at that QR code you will have real live updates as to what our performance is on our strategic plan. We track all 6 goals, and we actually update that information on a monthly basis. For the purposes of today's conversation, I do want to share and highlight 4 goals for you. One, of course, create and preserve 10,000 units. Secondly, our goal 3, which is creating opportunities to thrive, as well as goal 5 and 6. 5 is communicating our impact, while 6 is strengthening our overall operations. What we do, the foundation of the work that we lift up, literally leans into the creation and preservation of our affordable housing units. And so, as you know, we have a goal to create and preserve 10,000 affordable housing units. Today, we're at about 88% of that goal. But one of the things that we've been really focused on is how we can be more intentional about unlocking resources that have not been utilized before. And so last month, I believe we shared with the board members information around our Faircloth Authority, and the fact that that was the one opportunity, especially because we're constrained on our voucher capacity, to be able to create new affordable housing units. Well, just this past month, we submitted 42 applications to HUD to release this Faircloth Authority. That 42 applications result in about 6,200 units overall, with a total of 42% affordability. Now, the exciting part for me is that a portion of those will be used to close out our strategic plan. We're looking right now that right around 1,700 units will be across 10 developments to create 433 public housing or affordable units by the close of our strategic plan year, which will be June 30th, 2027. The real exciting part is, while we're in the process of talking about what our new strategic plan will be, we've already started escalating unit production, because the balance of those units will be within our next planning process. And so we are aggressively looking to identify opportunities to deploy our Faircloth Authority to make sure that we can continue to increase the overall stock of affordable housing units here within the city. And to give you a sense of that, I want to make sure you know an example of a project that will most likely close before the end of the planning period. 450 Capitol Avenue, 450 Hank Aaron, I'm sorry, which is the old Ramada Hotel. That is a project that we will be bringing to the board shortly to move forward with development activity, and we will deploy our Faircloth Authority to that particular development in order to make the units affordable. And when we think about affordable housing, we recognize that housing just can't be done in a vacuum. At the end of the day, you're building the physical infrastructure to protect the social infrastructure of the people in the family and the lives that we serve. And so we're continuing our monthly Bowen Resident Advisory Council meetings. We have a very strong Resident Advisory Council, very open and transparent meetings where former residents are able to come in and share their concerns, share their feedback, but more importantly, receive real-time updates as to the progress of that property, and if they choose to come back, have an opportunity to do so. And so we do that on a monthly basis, and that work is being led by Pamela Owanta in our Resident Empowerment Division. We also are continuing to lift up our work with Urban League of Greater Atlanta around home ownership. We recognize for many of our families, the best opportunity to build generational wealth is home ownership, and it is our goal. It is absolutely our goal, and I'm getting close to making it a mandate that we transition our families from public rental assistance to home ownership. And the reason to do so is more than just creating an opportunity for generational wealth, but quite honestly, is to release the housing voucher so we can reach back and help the next family. This city has an economic mobility problem. Atlanta housing has a limited capacity for vouchers to be able to solve it. So we have to be very intentional and innovative as to how we can utilize our resources to graduate our families from public assistance to home ownership, but also preserve the opportunity to help the next family. And that's what we're doing. And so we're excited about the work we're doing with Urban League, as well as so many others, to lift up home ownership, but also get people ready for home ownership. Most of our families will be first generation homeowners. And so we know that there's a lot that we need to look at as far as educational and financial readiness, credit, and things such as that. And so we are standing here to work with our families to make sure we can prepare them for this opportunity. When we think about communicating our work, we were really fortunate to have a wonderful highlight on Bowen Homes by 11 Alive News. And it really just sort of chronicled the work, the history of that particular project. So it's interesting that that was one of the comments today, because it is a very historic project. And quite honestly, it's the largest public housing redevelopment opportunity along the west side with that 74-acre site. And it was one of the last public housing projects to be demolished in 2009. And so in 2022, Atlanta Housing was able to bring it back. And in 2026, I stand before you today to say that phase 1 is under active construction and phase 2 will be closing by the end of the summer. And that's important. And it's important because we're realizing the promise of bringing back responsible housing to that site. We're looking at over 2,000 units of housing with right around a 38% affordability. It will be a mixed use development with amenities, but also we recognize that you can't redevelop that 74-acre site and not understand what the catalytic impact will be to that corridor. And so we're working very closely with the City of Atlanta and Invest Atlanta to address the neighborhood improvements that would need to be done along the corridor to make it a more sustainable and viable place for our families to live. Also, what was exciting for me about the story is that it wasn't all about Atlanta Housing. Literally, it highlighted one of the former residents of Bowen Home, who's actually Miss Epps. And Miss Epps is actually participating in the Resident Advisory Council and is an active and vocal participant to make sure that we are providing opportunities for families to be able to benefit from what Bowen Homes will be. And so we're excited to continue the conversation and to continue the services that we'll provide on that particular site. We also had a chance to have Miss Nancy Flake Johnson come visit with us. We started a salon series probably about a year ago, and that salon series is an opportunity for us to bring the larger community to Atlanta Housing so that our employees can be engaged and understand what's happening outside our four walls. And in this conversation, we had an excellent, and if you know Nancy, you know it was lively, but we had a lively conversation around economic mobility, but quite honestly, what this moment means for us from a policy-making standpoint and how the policies and decisions we make today will impact our families for generations to come. We also had our 404 Day Parade celebrating the culture of Atlanta, and it was a grand old time with our employees really having the opportunity to show their Atlanta housing pride. But more important than their Atlanta housing pride, it was an opportunity for us to say, if we work hard, let's play hard as well. And so we were joined by our chairman, who showed us a few moves that he had, and the staff would not let me show mine. But that's okay. That's okay. And then we concluded with our spring town hall, where we had an opportunity to have our Chief Operating Officer, Dwayne Vaughn, share his last address with the employees of Atlanta Housing, and have the employees have a chance to spend some time with Dwayne. And if you know Dwayne, he left several nuggets. But what I gleaned most from Dwayne's speech was he is a better person because of God and because of his wife, Stephanie Vaughn. And I want to acknowledge Ms. Vaughn, who's here with us today as well. And as we conclude our report, I am excited about the fact that we're having our Earth Day. We're celebrating Earth Day on April 28th, and typically we usually hold workshops here at headquarters. But this year we decided to get out in the community, and we decided to have a beautification day around Bowen, along the Hollowell corridor. And so we've been working with the community as well as the Sustainability Task Force led by interim Senior Vice President Adelaide Steedley to really get Atlanta out in the community so that our employees will, one, be able to touch the work that we're doing. So it's one thing for us to talk about it, it's another thing to actually touch it and be a part part of it, but more importantly, to show what is important about having sustainability and moving forward with sustainability. And so while you see a picture of Morgan, I can promise you that Morgan will be working at the gas station on on that day, beautifying the gas station. And it's a recent purchase that the board approved for us to help support the Bowen Homes project. And so I thank you. I thank you. I stand before you as your president and CEO, and I don't take that responsibility lightly. But I also thank you for the growth that we're all experiencing together, and the fact that we will continue to even enhance our efforts to lead this organization into its next legacy. And so, thank you so much, Madam Chair. That concludes my report.
Very good. Thank you. Any questions or comments from fellow commissioners? Really appreciate the report. Always great to see it all together, and look forward to thinking about the future with the group tomorrow.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Very good. All right. Well, if there is no further business of this meeting, the regular...
I'm sorry, Chair. First, I do have a comment. Do you mind?
Please.
So the first comment is I always hate for people to leave with the wrong impression. I had the materials. I have an email from Cherie that came in Monday. I just looked and I was like, wow, it's right at the top of my inbox. So I apologize, and it is in the packet, so I apologize. So that's the first thing. I don't want anybody to think that somebody here didn't do their job. It was just me. And then the second thing is I just wanted to take a moment to give a shout out to Adeline Steedley. And Sarah was involved with this. Several years ago, Georgia Power convened a number of different stakeholders to talk about energy efficiency. And one of the biggest issues we had was energy efficiency for people who are renting, of course. And because of all of those efforts, Adeline would not let it go. She was like a dog with a bone to try to figure out how Atlanta Housing could create a program that would incentivize landlords to do energy efficiency, because they're cross purposes, right? The renter pays the rent, the landlord does this. Well, you guys get that better than I do probably. And the program is awesome. And so when I came back here on the board, I was talking to her, and it turned out I ended up on a panel last Monday before last, to talk about the intersection between energy and housing. And I had the opportunity to highlight the program that Atlanta Housing. And I cannot tell you the number of people who came up to me at the conclusion of the program and want to know more and want me to connect them with you. And it's that type of work that's really important, that makes a difference. It's a very thorny issue, but the Rental Boost program is doing good things for residents. And I know people think the power company wants everybody to use all the power, but we really don't. We've got more than enough people to purchase the power right now. But it's efforts like that that are truly important. So I just wanted to give you a shout out, Adelaide. If I keep pronouncing your name wrong, please forgive me. I've known you for a while, but I just can't seem to get it right today. And thank you to Atlanta Housing for that particular work.
That's great. Perfect example of our partnership goals of doing all that we do better. So thank you. Any other comments or questions? All right, hearing none, this regular Board of Commissioners meeting is adjourned, and the time is 2:59 p.m. Thank you, and we will miss you, Dwayne.